Colleagues, a concern was raised by Iraq in respect of the report that I've just given you, and Iraq was questioning why did I visit Russia in the context of the war in Ukraine and not Gaza. I would like to inform my colleague that you might note that in November last year, I visited Palestine and I visited Israel and I met the leaders. And that was my first visit after becoming president in October. So it's not like I have ignored what is happening in the Middle East, what is happening in Lebanon, what is happening in Gaza, and what happened in Israel. So I treat all the conflicts the same way. And you might also want to note the conflicts that we are talking about in the Middle East, the war that we are talking about in Ukraine, they are not the only conflicts that IPU is looking at. We are concerned about what is happening in Yemen. We are concerned about what is happening in Syria. We are concerned about what is happening in Sudan. We are concerned about what is happening in West Africa. We are concerned about what is happening in DRC. Lithuania asked specific questions. Who mandated you to visit Russia? Why not Ukraine first? The letters were sent out, dear colleagues. The letters were sent very explicitly. They explained, and if you need copies of those letters because they are not secrets, you can always have copies. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Ukraine. Letters were sent to our counterparts in Russia. My visit was to begin with Ukraine. Ukraine responded the dates that we were ready to visit them. Mr. Zelensky and Mr. Speaker would be in New York for the NATO meeting. Would I have stopped them? No. It wouldn't be wise. In any case, I don't have such powers. Now, because the meeting of BRICS was taking place, would I stop going to Russia because Ukraine is not ready to receive me because of time? No. Why? Because IPU stands for dialogue. IPU is talking about parliamentary diplomacy. And it is in that context that I did all that I did. And I thought I would be given a little credit for all the efforts that I've done, not to be crucified for things that I have not. You're asking here who mandated me. Who mandated the former president who came from the 12+ to visit Kiev? Who mandated him? Please, I think we have to reach a point where I have explained myself several times to you 12+, to everybody else who cared to understand. If you have a feeling like I went to Russia without going to Ukraine first, I have told you several times, letters were sent out. I wouldn't turn out my visit to Russia because I'm unable to reach Ukraine. You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Israel, did you? You didn't ask me similar questions when I visited Palestine, did you? You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit Sudan. You're not going to ask me similar questions when I visit other places. I think, colleagues, let's have trust. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate. You have elected a president who is supposed to deliver to her mandate, and I think you are dealing with me unjustifiably, which is not fair to anybody. The questions that you have been raising, I have responded them to the best of my knowledge and to the best of my objectivity in all this matter. And you must know, I would not have asked to meet Mr. Putin if it wasn't for Ukraine. My commitment to doing that, and this is not the first place I'm visiting. Why is it that it's looking like I have met this person and therefore the president of IPU has all of a sudden become a monster? Please treat me with dignity the same way I am treating you with dignity. At all times advance parliamentary diplomacy. I will at all times give respect to the ideals of IPU, but I request you members to also accept I'm not God, I'm not an angel, I'm only human. I'm doing what is possible within my powers. The president of the task force has just informed you, and I have been repeating myself in this respect. I was requested by the task force to do what I did. What did I do wrong? I was supposed to sit back and tie my hands and say there's nothing we can do as IPU. That will not be doing justice to the women and children of Ukraine who are suffering. That wouldn't be fair to the mandate that you have given me. Give me a chance to lead this institution according to the ideals that we stand for. Not to crucify me just because I come from some country. Some of you maybe feel like we are still colonized in the mind. No. No, we are not. No, we are not. So please, let's respect each other. I'm doing the best that I can, and that is exactly what I'll do. That is my commitment to you. I will keep doing that. Thank you very much. Some issues have been raised here, very specifically wanting me to say, somebody said they want the full record. I did not record the meeting, so I don't have that record. Secondly, the resolutions were they have been shared several times, and I also mentioned them. Kidnapped children that are in Russia, that is an important issue to IPU. We have been working together with the task force, and we will keep working together to make sure children are returned to Ukraine. You have talked about written requests. I have responded to every request that comes to me. The good thing is when they come to me, they go to the Secretary General as well. There is no secret about this thing. If anybody wants more information, we have a whole file of all the communications. On the other hand, I have been asked here, Denmark asked me why I visited Russia while I haven't visited Ukraine. I have already expressed what actually happened. I believe, dear colleagues, this explanation puts at rest this matter so that you let me lead the institution you entrusted me to. That said, colleagues, that said, like I said, we are very much behind time, and so we now go ahead on the second part of item 4. So, colleagues, we now go to item B of I have closed this matter. If we have issues with me, you can speak with me separately because I have said we have to get moving. We don't have time anymore. Ukraine?
What's going
I'm afraid it doesn't work. It does work? Thank you so much.
No, you have to press that.
Press that.
Does it work? Does it work?
Yes.
Okay, finally. Thank you, Madam President. Just 1 minute from me not to be emotional and to finish this discussion as we hope. There is nothing to do with the position of Ukraine or with the position of the 12+ group. It has to do with 2 resolutions of the IPU that you, as member of Tanzania, before that also voted. So unanimously, we had 2 resolutions of the IPU to stop the aggression of Russian Federation against Ukraine. And I think that we need to respect the decision of every country here who voted for those resolutions in 2022 and 2023. So I really, I trust you, and I expect you that you raised this issue with Mr. Putin, and that you said that there is a position of the whole IPU, of the whole world, to stop the aggression and to stop the illegal annexation and to stop the decisions of Mr. Putin that he took to start the war, to start the aggression, and to annex 4 regions of Ukraine. When you were there talking to Mr. Putin, I was giving birth to my child, who is right now here with me. She is 9 months old, and I had to give birth in the bomb shelter underneath in Kiev because Russian missiles were flying on top. No baby should spend the first day of her life in the bomb shelter. Not a baby in Gaza, not a baby in Sudan, not a baby in Somalia, not a baby in Ukraine. And I hope that you raise this question, because to trust you, and we did, we elected you. So to trust you, we need you to be as transparent as possible and respect the decisions of this organization, the decisions of IPU, not just towards Ukraine, but towards any other matters that we took. And the decisions to stop and condemn Russian aggression was a decision we took here twice, unanimously. So we do trust you. Please, please, please use this trust wisely, and please do it in the future more transparent and with more respect towards this organization that you preside. Thank you.
I thank you for the trust. Report on the activities of the Executive Committee. Dear colleagues, since our last assembly, the Executive
Institute of Technology and Management kilichopo Mwenge jijini Dar es Salaam na chenye thibati na usajili wa NACVET number REG mkwaju ANE mkwaju 029 anapenda kutangazia.
Ili kuwa mwanafamilia bora wa Global TV, usisahau kusubscribe, like, kushare na kucomment. Baada ya kusubscribe, bonyeza alama ya kengele ili kupata taarifa kwa kila video inayopanda Global TV Online.